Alright. Tourian is pretty much a big mess. Like there's so much to handle among them like about the Metroid. It makes it really hard to find anything consistent in this area. But before we get into specifics, I want to talk a little bit about the different missile routes you can have here. So there are pretty much 4 viable missile routes up until Tourian, which are separated by the amount of missiles and amount of super missiles you have by now. The one I'm currently showing off and the most popular one is 50 and 6. So you have 50 normal missiles and 6 super missiles. I have 49 now because I used one, but that one really doesn't mean anything. We will get that back before we have time to use any, so it's fine. The second most popular one is 50 and 4. And we also have 40 and 6 and 55 and 6. 50 and 4 is the one that doesn't grab Brinstar Super, and it's also the one... It's theoretically faster than 50 and 6, but it's really hard to not lose time in turn, not lose time against Metroids with only 4 super missiles. In the end, I'm pretty sure 40 and 6 is the theoretically fastest one, but it's also super annoying on drops. So it's really not viable outside of segmented, pretty much. 50 and 6 is the most versatile and stable one. I'll go into more detail at Mother Brain, but the most important one is that the third super missile pickup to give you 6 supers is the one that makes this way more reliable than having 4. That's really the only difference in the missile routes for the Metroids. There will be more differences at the Mother Brain fight, but for the Metroids the only important difference is that this route uses 6 supers instead of 4. So keep that in mind. An important thing, like overall strategy-wise in Tourian, is to have as much ammo as possible after Metroids. There are a few ways to work around this, because it's really hard to like explain straight up in like words like this instead of just showing you, and like showing you isn't easy. You kind of have to play Tourian for yourself and get a grasp on how drops work and how often you get supers and how often you get no missiles and when you get health and when you don't get health and which drops you can get, which drops you want to skip or whatever. It's all really complicated and hard to explain, and something that's way easier to teach by experience. So you just have to run through Tourian a couple of times to get a feel for it. But the main thing, if you feel that you usually have a lack of normal missiles, one thing you can do is to always make sure that you're not full on missiles. So if you have full missiles, don't use a super to kill a Metroid, which will ensure that you get drops you can use pretty much. It's sort of the same for supers. So if you're full on supers but not on normal missiles, then use a super. If you're full on normal missiles but not on supers, then use normal missiles. This is a pretty conservative strategy though. It's gonna let you have as much ammo as possible at Mother Brain, but it's really not that necessary. More so if you're prone to taking damage and start getting health drops, it's gonna really impact your missile count. But like I said, it's mostly an experience thing. I'm gonna show you, like, I'll be showing you strats for dealing with Metroids in various rooms and various ways. Like I said, it's really hard to find anything optimal in Tourian, anything consistent and optimal. So I'll just be showing you what I do. I'll try to explain what I do. It's sort of complicated in some instances, but I'll try to explain what I do, and in the cases that I know of other strategies. I'll try to explain them too. But nothing here is set in stone. Like extra much so in Tourian that nothing anyone does is really optimal. Like we don't know if anything is actually optimal. There's so much potential improvement in Tourian. It's really hard to tell if anything is faster or not because of how Metroids work. So take everything in this with a grain of salt. Test things out. If they don't work, try like to find your own stuff or try other things. I just want to emphasize that Tourian is really random and you have to adjust a lot during it. So, but no matter. Let's go into things. At the start, we just want to run to the right. I switched to supers right away because I want to use that on the first Metroid, but it's not really required. Once you get to the far right, you're gonna activate Speed Booster. If you're doing the single segment, if you save and load a save, you're not going to do it. As long as you're doing a single segment, you're going to get Speed Booster right before hitting the ledge, or for running up the ledge. So you want to run past this platform, then turn around and fall down to the store. It's pretty simple. The first Metroid can usually, you can usually skip its drops. Even if it does drop a super, it's not really that useful. And if it drops missiles, like normal missiles, it's really not useful. So you can, in most cases, just skip the drops. If you feel unsure about keeping track of your missile counts, or like if you feel like running out of missiles is a very distinct possibility, you can use normals and just grab the drops from him to be more safe. It's a very safe maneuver, but it's possible. I would suggest just like run over here, like to the left of him, wait for him to spawn, freeze and shoot a super. Might want to mention that I mentioned there's a lot of random things in Tourian. That means more than just drops. Rinkas are pretty much static. I'm fairly sure Rinkas are not random at all. I don't feel random at all, but spawn times for Metroids are very random. Like, did you see how much faster that was? That's slow. Like the time they take to come from the background onto the screen is all kinds of random, and that screws up so many things. That's why it's really hard to make any kind of consistent strategies in most of the Metroid rooms. But we'll see that later. For now, just run past this guy, turn around, kill him, and then keep going. This room is a bit more complicated. There are a few ways to do this. You probably still want to use supers as long as you have the 6. If you're using 4 and are like sort of getting low now, it might not want to, but I'd still recommend using super here. So the easiest way to do this is to run over to this guy, freeze and shoot him, then jump down and freeze and shoot this guy. This is the, oh god, those super jumps. That's the easiest way, but it's pretty slow since you have to wait for a second one to spawn. There's gonna be a common theme among most of the faster strategies here to try to spawn 2 Metroids at the same time, and then go back and killing the first one and then killing the second one afterwards. This is to cut down on the random spawn times of Metroids and make it work either way. So a slightly faster strategy and still pretty consistent is to jump down, like fall down to about this platform, like fall through and land here, or like land on the right one. Freeze this Rinka after it goes towards you, and then kill the Metroid, jump up on the Rinka, and then kill the second Metroid. In most cases, I think he's spawning really quickly now. It's not even spawning that quickly. But the second Metroid is gonna come down chasing after you, so he'll always be there for you to catch. So that one's already faster. Since we're spawning both of them at the same time, this is already faster than the other one. That one's also good. The one I personally use is a bit more complicated. It's only slightly faster than this, but it's actually a lot more complicated. But I've managed to make it consistent, so I use it personally. What I do is fall down, land on this platform, jump up here, kill the left Metroid, and kill the right Metroid. This is much harder because of how you have to react. You have to react to how fast this guy spawns. If that guy spawns quickly, you want to use a diagonal shot to kill him. If he spawns slowly, you want to use a vertical shot to kill him. He's sort of in between now, so I could do either. But this is something you have to grind out if you want to do. I find it very consistent, but it might be a bit complicated. Also, if the second guy is super slow, you might want to crouch to hit him, because this Rinka coming from the top might get in the way. And then you just jump over all the Rinkas that are there to get down here. Yeah, okay. I want to see if I can get some other different RNG to show off the different scenarios. In the other two, there's not really much variance. Like, you can just do what I did, and it'll always make sense. Let me see if I can get some varying RNG. Like, this time it was really slow, so I just had to shoot upwards. Like, if you look up to the left, you can see how slowly he spawns while you're falling down. Like, he hasn't even started appearing yet when he scrolls off the screen, so I know I have to walk all the way to the left and shoot straight up. But for this strat, it's not gonna matter too much. You're gonna have to wait here for like a second, but otherwise it's not a big deal. That's the scary part though. He might like collide with the platform above you, or he might not. It's sort of hard to tell with Metroid hitboxes. Their movement is very erratic, and their hitboxes are annoying, like deceptively, I don't know, strange. Like the hitboxes are different than they might look. Let's see if I can get you one different RNG. Can see if I can get something. Okay, I can see if I can get this guy to spawn quickly. That's sort of quickly, I guess. That guy was pretty slow though, so I felt like I wanted to crouch there. It might not be necessary. Yeah, no, it's not, but it's pretty close. So if he spawns and is slower, you'd have to crouch to not hit the Rinka. And again, if you manage to screw something up, you're gonna have to react quickly to how the Metroids are moving. It's difficult stuff. It's hard to explain things because of how much RNG is involved in Metroid movement, but trust me that what I'm doing now does work. It might require some adjustments some of the time, but it's very consistent once you've practiced it. You might take a hit from a Rinka, it's not a big deal. This room is a bit more straightforward. You can choose to kill these guys one-on-one, like alone. Just go up to each, wait for them to spawn, kill it. Try not to use too many supers because we want to have at least one, but preferably up to 3 in this next room. So like if you're running too low on supers, you can try to switch off and use normal missiles. A bunch of supers. You have at least 3. 5 is good too. This is where having 6 supers is really useful because we want 3 in this next room. If I had gotten that super drop with only 4 max supers, I would have wasted a super. because each drop gives you 2 supers, and I would have only gotten 1 extra super because of the 4 maximum. So that's the main reason why having 6 supers is really useful, because you can take risks. So like sort of there's less risk involved. You can have a bigger pool of supers without wasting drops, which is way more safe. Something you can do in this room though, if you want to be ballsy, is to start like summoning them in pairs. So for this guy, you run up to this point pretty much. Then you turn around, and depending on how he's moving, you might have to crouch, you might not have, you might have to shoot upwards. It's all very in typical Tourian fashion. Everything is completely random. If he spawns too quickly, you want to shoot him right away. If he spawns like super quickly, you want to shoot him right away. I'm trying to get different RNG. You can tell if he's going to swoop low, like if he's touching the ceiling right about here, he's going to rapidly switch directions and like swoop down towards you, and then you have to crouch to hit him. I just want to get different RNG. Like that might happen too. You might want to have to stand too. Sometimes he'll go above you. It's really rare. I don't exactly know when that happens, but it's a super specific spawn timing, I think, or depends on your movement or whatever. But sometimes he might go up and like too many rinkets. He might just follow this path like and end up here, and you have to shoot him vertically. But it's not really like it's not a big deal. Again, keep in mind that you're full on missiles right now. You should be full on normal missiles right now, unless you've had like really strange luck, where you've gotten like all supers or something ridiculous. So you don't need whatever he drops. Whatever he drops, you don't need it unless it's a super. So you can confirm while you're killing this guy on the right. You can confirm what these drops are. And if it's not a super, just ignore it and keep going. If it is a super, you can quickly go back and grab it and keep going. In this case, it's just health, so I can ignore it. If you're low on super set, like if you're down to 1 super here, I wouldn't kill this Metroid. I wouldn't use a super on this Metroid. I would just switch and do that. And then do the same thing to have at least 1 super in the next room. That's really important. No supers in the next room is super hard. 1 is manageable. Again, keep in mind that you want to freeze this Rinka because he is gonna screw you up. You can do that from here if you're good at aiming, or you can just jump on top of him and shoot straight down. Also works. Both of those are viable as long as it's consistent. Like hitting him is sort of hard. I'll kill this guy. If you have supers though, like if you have supers left over, like if you're willing to kill this guy with a super, you can spawn both of them by running over here. Like you want to be on the very edge of this platform. You want like one of Samus's feet to be over the edge of the platform, and then just turn around. This is a really unfortunate situation. Like his movement is really annoying. I usually just have to turn around and do this, yeah. And again, you can confirm what the drops are or not, like just running, grab everything and get over here. And he'll have probably not spawned yet. He might have, because Metroids are dumb, but he might, most likely he won't have. You can see it normally. If he spawns too fast, he's gonna be like up here-ish, so you can either stand here, shoot diagonally. If you wait too long, it's gonna come over here. His movement is pretty deterministic. He'll pretty much always do the same movement if you're standing here. So he'll go up there. If you're sorta semi-slow, so you want to hit him up there and shoot vertically. But most of the time, it's pretty straightforward once you're getting used to it. Only do this if you're willing to kill him with a super though. Doing this with normal missiles is... he's scaring me. It's really scary. He's spawning super slow now, but it's... Like, if he spawns sort of quickly, and you're trying to kill left Metroid with normal missiles, you're probably gonna get grabbed. So try to avoid that. If you do get grabbed by any Metroid, just calm down. You have plenty of health. Just calm down, plant a bomb, roll away. After the bomb's exploded, roll away. Like, oh no. And then try to freeze him like really fast. Like aim to try to react where he went and freeze him right away. And kill him. If there are multiple Metroids on the screen and you get eaten by one of them, try to kill the first one, or like try to kill the free one before you try to kill the free one before you break free. Like, oh no, crap. It's a way, because you're very likely to just panic and screw something up if you don't. This case was sort of an edge case scenario because he took a long time spawning, so I probably would have been able to get away from this. Like, it's hard because they start interacting with each other. So in most cases I would recommend just like trying to kill any free Metroids before trying to break free of the Metroid you're caught in. You'll have enough health to survive a couple of seconds, so it's like, try to not panic too much. It's very easy to panic though. Metroids are scary. So like I said, I like to have at least I'd like to have 3 supers here, at least 1 for sure. You never want to get in here with no supers. But anything above 1 is fine. 4 is good. If you're in here with no supers, you want to take this super slowly. I don't even know how to take this room slowly, so I'm not going to be able to show you. But there are a couple of ways to do this room. The way I do, and most people do this room, is to first of all do a tiny jump here. The jump is to spawn that Metroid on the left. So if you jump, as long as you make it past this platform, like if you would land on this platform, he spawns pretty much. So just do a tiny jump and make sure to turn back around. So he should have spawned. Yeah, he's coming down. So you want to spawn him, then freeze this Rinka while running. Run past it, run into this corner, sort of like in this corner thing, and just kill everything. They'll all gather around you, and you can freeze other ones for shields and stuff. This is why you want 3 supers, so you can kill all of these with supers. Makes it easier. Killing these with missiles gets awkward, but it's very possible to do this with just missiles or with 1 super, as long as you can kill one of them. As long as you can kill 1. See, it's hard to keep them all in check. Like 2 is fine too. Bam. If you have 3 supers here, like if you're like I am, full on health and full on missiles, which is not an unlikely scenario, this happens from time to time, you pretty much don't need any drops that are not supers. So again, you can got a bunch of supers now just because of that. You can confirm killing this guy drops nothing, killing this guy drops nothing. I don't have to grab those, like I don't have to grab those missiles. It's sometimes hard to get into the mindset that I don't need drops in Tourian, because Tourian is supposedly, stay still, very drop intensive. So you have to like make a conscious choice of not taking things. Like, I'm leaving a ton of missiles, but I don't need them, and taking them grabbing them would cost me like seconds. So people do this anyway. It happens, I'm warning you. Now I can see it's a super, so... If this guy takes a long time to get down, it's most of the time a good idea to jump up. Do it carefully though, because he might surprise you. He might come from nowhere. And this last guy you can kill with super. Unless my super count is absurdly high, I like using missiles on him to keep supers for the next room. Like this is fine. Having 2 supers is fine. But if you're down to your last super, I probably would not kill him with a super. Like this, I would probably use missiles. Because there's nothing else threatening about that place. That's the only thing, like not even any Rinkas are trying to attack you. So you have plenty of time to take it slow on that one again. Another slight difference is to do it like this. This is what I used to do. It's sort of awkward now. But you shoot this guy and then you jump and he'll go over your head. I don't know, this feels like doing it now, this feels really awkward. I would probably stick to just running over here. You might also not want to jump if you're feeling uncertain. Then you're gonna have to fight 2 of them here instead. This is just a really awkward room for Metroids on its own. But most people do this, and I would recommend doing this. Either jump or not jump, that's not important, but freezing that Rinka and running all the way to the right is probably the most efficient way to handle these guys. Like all the Rinkas are all to the left too, so it's pretty easy to get around things. So this room, I want to shoot at the floor. You want to at least hit this block. If you can hit all 3 of these, but at least this one in the middle. If you hit the one in the middle, you can fall down perfectly. Like you can just start spinning when you're in the hole and start falling. That's the important one. But if you can hit all 3, that's perfect. If you can hit 2, that's also good. It's actually harder to hit this than I'm making it seem right now. I miss these way too often. Like get that happens a lot. Just keep in mind that if that happens, you can just spin and miss that platform anyway, so it doesn't matter at all. If you're feeling really unsure about your drops right now, 50 and 2 is great by this count. But if you're like really low, you can kill this green Rinka for some drops. Green Rinkas are way more likely compared to red Rinkas to drop supers, and they're also guaranteed to drop something. Like red Rinkas might drop nothing if they want to, and they very rarely drop supers. Green Rinkas have a decent super drop rate. Now they're not giving me anything. There you go. That's a super. So they have decent super drop rate. It's not good. It's still worse than Metroids, but I think it's worse than Metroids. It might be the same as Metroids, but they're only dropping 1. But it's vastly superior to the red Rinka's drop rate. I want to have a save here for RNG purposes. This room is not that special. It's about this time where you should start caring about your super missile count. So killing those 4 Metroids, the first 4, it's nothing spectacular. There's no fancy strats to spawn multiple. Just run up, kill. If you have supers, use supers. If you have maybe not use supers, maybe use normal missiles if you're worried about ammo, or if you don't have supers. Like it's doing whatever is fine here, as long as you're not overfilling on supers. You're pretty much good. weird. These two on the bottom are a bit more treacherous though. But I'll get to that in a second. There's one thing I really want to mention about this Metroid. This Metroid spawns really, really low. I'll see if I can get it to happen. It's possible to miss him completely. I can't seem to do it now. That doesn't work with supers, maybe? Yeah. So if you freeze him right away, you're not gonna hit him with missiles standing up. Apparently you do with supers. That's interesting. I should keep that in mind. I thought supers missed too. But if you freeze him, like if you hit him exactly as he's spawning, he's not gonna get hit by normal missiles. You have to wait a fraction of a second or crouch if you're using normal missiles. Apparently supers is fine, so that's good. That makes me less scared. Supers have a slightly wider hitbox. And again, if you're slowing down against any of these, it might be scary to go down to the next Metroid. Like in this case, he's already spawned, and if I go down at that time, he's gonna grab me. What you wanna do is either wait here until they get up, or wait until they bounce on the ceiling. Once they bounce, you're pretty much fine. If you start running right after they hit the ceiling, you should be good. Like there should be no way for them to grab you because they've slowed down. They have to accelerate again after touching the ceiling. Or I guess not. It's awkward for sure. Be ready to like freeze them while they're going down. And also freeze them from above. But optimally you want to use supers and everything, so. But again, about here is where you should start worrying about your final super count. You want to be at least 4 supers after the next room. Like so, getting down here. And after this room, I'm gonna show this room later, but after going through this door, you want to be at least 4 supers. That helps a lot. It's not the end of the world if you're not, but it's way more safe to be. So about now might be the time to start worrying. So I will still waste all my supers in this room, I think, most of the time. I think I would start saving at around here if I'm like at like 2. I might not use them here. It all depends on how adventurous I'm feeling at the moment. But these 2 Metroids coming up are sort of awkward to deal with. You'd think it's possible to spawn these at the same time. It looks like it would be, but I've found it very hard to find any way to consistently get them to do so. Like you can fall all the way down, spawn this guy, and try to get up, kill him. But then this guy is really hard to get by, like without getting grabbed consistently, because they start moving very erratically, depending on where Samus is when their spawn time ends. Or if you fall all the way down and kill this thing and try to kill this guy coming down, it's all very awkward, and it's possible to get it to work, but it's hard and weird, and I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. It's only slightly faster. You're only gaining like a second maybe, with a lot of risk of screwing it up. One thing I did find pretty recently, as in today, while doing research for this video, I found one thing that seems promising, but I'm not sure. So what I do is fall down and land on this platform, preferably without landing on anything else, and then jump up, kill this thing, and the Metroid will go through this hole every time. The problem here is that if the spawn, like if the spawn times are, I think, too slow, the Rinkas are gonna catch up to you and be annoying. Like for the first one, hitting this Rinka. You might be able to freeze it though. Like coming up here, you might be able to freeze it and then quickly change your aim. It's sort of risky. And grabbing, I'm getting so many supers, and grabbing both the drops from this Metroid is proving sort of hard as well when doing this. I wonder if I can lure him farther to the left. That might make sense. Discovering new strats on the fly. I'm getting so many supers. But you sort of need to hit this Rinka to get that to work. The more consistent way of doing this, that at least I use most of the time, is to just fall down, freeze this Rinka while falling down because he's an asshole. If this Metroid is super slow, that Rinka is gonna get in your way. So do that. Oops. Probably want to get all of these missiles. Then jump, grab these things, fall down, kill that, get in here. That's the strategy I would recommend at a first glance. Feel free to try anything more risky though, and report back to me if you find anything useful that actually works all of the time. If it ever doesn't work, it's not a good thing, because getting eaten anywhere in Tourian severely limits what drops you get. You're gonna start getting normal health drops instead of missile drops, and that's going to very negatively affect your farm time at Mother Brain. So getting hit is of, like, not getting hit is of utmost importance. Like, see, that was a super awkward movement. Awkward movement. I wasn't ready for that. I had to adjust in real time. It's just so hard to get him to do what I want. So I'll just take it slow, to be honest. Anyway, this next room is sort of annoying as well. You can start holding down during the transition to morph, because you are not going to stand on anything. Even if you go through the door standing, like even if you manage to walk through the door. You are going to be airborne right away. So there's no reason not to start morphing immediately. Then place a bomb around there. Then there are a few different ways of handling this. This room is built up. There are 6 Metroids in this room in 3 groups. So you can sort of trigger them in any order you want to. You probably want to trigger these 2 first, and then you can either trigger the ones on the left or the ones on the bottom in any order you like depending on what you're into. And then go over here, kill these guys. It's sort of hard. Oops! It's sort of hard to kill them before you have to freeze the other ones. So you have to like freeze. Didn't work. Kill these, then you bomb the floor and go down to the 2 last ones. This all feels pretty slow though, so I don't like doing that too much. What I do is fall down here, try to not get like bombed, try to fall down, and try to fall down all the way here anyway. Try to not land on this platform. I cannot power grip. Yeah, I can power grip. Try to not land on that platform. Like so, that's annoying. But try to get to the right. You can go pretty far to the right, so you can just like hold right, falling down. Sword almost, not quite. what you want to do is plant a bomb as soon as you land. So you want to destroy that floor. Like this is before. If you listen, you can hear Samus bouncing. Hang on. You hear that? Like you can hear Samus landing. And if you like think about that timing, you can start planning about, okay, I missed that completely. You can break this floor, and then go in this corner and hit these guys like this, one diagonal and one normal. One horizontal. They're gonna spawn with such different timing, which make this really annoying. Like sometimes you get this great position, sometimes you do not. Oops. I sort of don't want these Rinkas to be in weird positions. Like sometimes that happens and there's no way you can kill the first one before the second one spawns. Right here, you don't need more than 4 supers. It's handy, but it's not necessary. So if you have 6 here, you can use these supers on the ones left here. If you're really lucky, you'll get another super drop from these 2, which is super great. That's great. But if you have 6 after killing the ones on the bottom, I can't find it. If you have 6 after killing the ones on the bottom, just use them on the 2 remaining Metroids. Falling down here after the first 2, you want to try to. You want to try to spawn both of these before trying to kill it. Like you can do this and then go over this, but this guy takes forever to spawn. It's much faster to run over to the left, start this guy spawning, and then turn around. Kill this guy, and as soon as, like, right after you kill him, you should be good to go for the next one. If they have weird spawn times where this one is super fast and this one is super slow, they're gonna be right pretty much on top of you at the same time, which is annoying. But try to keep in mind that there is like a Metroid coming at you from the left, and be ready to freeze it if it shows up. And again, oops. They're very likely to not be able to kill one of them before the other one gets to you. So like that happens sometimes that they collide with each other, but I wouldn't bet on it. So I start pumping into this Metroid. Like it all depends on their positions. It's like I said, it's really hard to give proper direction for these. Just try to stay safe, because again, taking damage is horrible. Taking damage is really bad. That's also super annoying when the Rinka just takes a shot. So Metroids are pretty unpredictable and have very erratic movement, but like if you know, once you get more comfortable trying to read where they're going, Tourian gets way easier. I had a lot of problems with Tourian starting out, but after I did just Tourian. Like I had a save at the start of Tourian and just did Tourian runs for like a day, and things started to click after a while. At least helped me a lot. I would recommend doing like Tourian practice just to understand where the Metroids are, how fast they usually spawn, how fast they might spawn, how they move, depending on your positions and stuff. It's all really awkward and erratic, but it's possible to start like seeing what's going to happen. Another thing I want to show is that it's possible to spawn all 4 of these. I would not recommend doing this unless you have a bunch of supers left over. And even then, like if you're full on supers right here, then sure, do this. Whatever. A reasonable advantage from this is that you can see all the drops. You can get all the drops on the screen. So it's easier to get a full ammo count. Like it's easier to have full supers from this. That's more useful in a 50 and 4 route. In any route with 6 super missiles, having 4 supers is more than enough. You don't need any more. If you only have 4 supers though, having 4 is good. Like having to rely on a super drop from one of these 2 is annoying. So it's better to have to rely on like 2 super drops from 4 Metroids than 1 super drop from 2, pretty much. It makes more sense mathematically. So in that case, that might be a good idea. If you have if you feel you have enough supers to kill everything without getting destroyed, then go ahead. I don't like doing this most of the time though. Okay, so farm coming up. This is pretty annoying. This is where the various amount of normal missiles come into play. What we usually do for Motherbrain is to go into Motherbrain's room, kill 2 Zebetites, and then go back out and start farming. After killing 2 Zebetites, what we need to clear Motherbrain's room is 49 normal missiles and 4 supers, or I think it's 39 normal missiles and 6 supers. Yeah, that should make sense. This is where the 40 and 6 and 50 and 4 routes come from. They are the minimum amount required to fight Motherbrain, like to beat all of Motherbrain's room reliably. So in either of those routes, you would give me my stupid save. Let's see if I can get this. You would go into Motherbrain's room. Kill these first 2, then go back out and refill to full. Again, remember that the green rinkas are guaranteed to drop things, so killing green rinkas are way more important than killing red ones. And green ones are also more likely to get supers. Like if this was a 15-4, I'd be sort of screwed now because I need a super buff. I mean, I'm screwed either way, but I really need this super buff. This is why Tourian is largely hated in the community. There we go, super up. Now I could finish it up. Or if I were on a if I were on 40 and 6, I would be fine now as well. This is sort of a problem with 40 and 6 because you need to get up to 6 super missiles, which might be an issue depending on how your Metroid went. But I'm pretty sure it's in theory faster to have 40 and 6. But you need good luck on your farm. Um, the sort of special case, special route that no one really uses anymore, but it's good to talk about, is 55 and 6, which would optimally not do any farm at all. The point of 55 and 6 is that that's enough to kill, like to beat all of Mother Brain's room without going back to farm at all. Since we need 49, 39 and 6. We need 39 and 6 to beat Mother Brain. Every Zebedite takes 7 supers, so that's 14 extra. Which puts us up to 53. So we need 53 normal missiles and 6 supers in order to beat all of Mother Brain's roof without coming back. Also opening this door takes 1, so more like 54. So if you have 54 missiles and 6 super missiles, you don't have to go back and farm. That's mostly the point of having 55 and 6. The problem with that line of thought is that you very rarely have perfect ammo after Metroid. Like, it happens, but it's pretty rare, and you can't count on it in your strats. Furthermore, grabbing the last missile tank you would need for 55 and 6, which I showed at the end of the crate segment, is the one outside of the crate. That takes about 7 seconds to grab. That's a lot of time for an expansion in this game. That's by far the slowest expansion on the N% route. So it's sort of a hard sell unless you feel like that's going to happen all the time, which it really doesn't. It's very rare that you have perfect ammo after Metroid, and that's the only real case where 55 and 6 saves you any time. Now here comes the beauty of 50 and 6, which, apart from having easier Metroids by having 6 supers, also have the luxury of choosing between 40 and 6 or 40 and 6 or 50 and 4 at farm. So let's take this example. Let's take the example we have. We go in here, we destroy 2 Zebedites. Oops. I did that super poorly, whatever. We have even less missiles now. It's fine. I go out here, farm. Let's say I get 2 super drops right away from the 2 Rinkas. If that was a 15-4 route, that would have been such a waste. But again, let's say I'm in the boat where I need 2 supers. That takes forever with a 40 and 6 route. You're gonna get, like, if I was 40 and 6, I'd still be stuck. I need to get a second super though. Like, while green Rinkas are sort of nice at blocking supers, they're not very nice, so that would have taken forever. So the beauty of 50 and 6 is being able to, if you get the super drops, you're good. You can go with 40 and 6 and still beat the room, if that happens. But if it doesn't, you can still fall back on, like, getting 50 normal missiles, which you're getting while you're trying to get the last super drop. You keep getting normal missiles, and once those fill up to 50, you're good to go anyway. So you can do either. That's why 50 and 6 is really versatile and can do whatever it wants. That's why a lot of people use this for single segments to make this farm as stable as it can be. Pretty much, it can still screw you over. Having to wait here for a super or whatever. If you're down to 2 supers, you still need at least 4. So you're sort of dumb. If you have 6 supers here, I would not recommend this unless if you're at 4 and you're sort of really trying to get, like, you're trying to be fast, like super fast, and you're willing to take a huge risk. You can use supers on the Zebedites. You can also do it if you have 6 supers, because you don't need 6 supers, and like the potential of getting a super while farming is good enough. Any extra supers you have beyond 4 can be used wherever, and they're just as effective, because in any place where you want to use supers, the only time they save is the time it would have taken to shoot 5 normal missiles. They don't save any more time than that anywhere in Mother Brain's room. So you can use them wherever. You can use them on Cebitites, you can use them on Mother Brain's glass, you can use them on Mother Brain herself, you can use it wherever. It'll save just as much time no matter where. So if you have six supers, I'm gonna pretend I have 6 supers now, even though I don't. You can do this room using supers for the first 2 Cebitites and kill that really quickly, and then get back out the new farm. Maybe also if you're really low on normal missiles but have a decent amount of supers, you might want to do that to speed up the normal missile farm. What you do is shoot 2 normal missiles, switch to supers, stand in this, like if you're not too sure about this, you can jump over here and kill this Cebitite like that. But you can kill them standing in that hallway here. You kind of have to listen to the audio cues because you can't actually see the Cebitites. So if you can hear that, bam ba bam, that means I killed it. If you start running back too quickly, the missile is going to despawn. Oops. Like, did you hear that? I missed one. If you listen to that, to the sound, you can hear me miss one missile. So you have to stand there for a second. Like, stand pretty much as long as you can before the Rinka gets to you. Oops. And then do like a tiny jump to get back out. Again, I wouldn't do this unless you like have way more, either 6 supers or really low on normal missiles, and at least have like 4 supers though. But it speeds up this a lot. Then you can get back here and farm, or you can like hope to get really lucky with supers like I am now. See, that was really good. But mostly I would recommend just using 7 normal missiles here. Like counting to 7 is surprisingly harder than it seems when you're inside Mother Brain's room and trying to keep track of all the things flying around and not get hit as well. So what I do at least is to look at my missile count, which is now 37, and just mentally count that I need to be at 30 after I fired 7. So I just look there until it's at 30 and then I'm done. And here I'm at 23. Slightly more because I failed it. So Cebitites regain health. So if you can't shoot 7 missiles straight, you're gonna have to add like 1 or 2 if you get hit during your salvo or whatever. But that happens. But I try to look at the numbers. I'm doing this really poorly right now. And then you get back out and do the farm. Something else to keep in mind is that while there's a drop on screen from a green Rinka, like it has to be the same green Rinka. Like let's take this one. It won't drop anything more. Like while that drop is there, it won't drop anything. So even if what you're getting is like if you need supers and it drops a normal crappy normal missile, you need to grab the missile before you kill the next Rinka. Otherwise you won't get anything. Keep that in mind. Yeah, you can also hit the Cebitites diagonally from down here if you end up in that spot. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and refill to full here just to show things off. Even though I technically don't need to be full on everything, I'm going to get it anyway. So I can show off both 6 super strats and 4 super strats. Okay, so once you've done your farm, you want to get back in here, you can do the same thing here. Like stand on this. If you stand here and crouch, you're pretty much in a safe spot. None of the turrets can hit you. The Rinkas can still hit you, but if you're fast enough, that shouldn't be a problem. Like if you're reasonably fast, that shouldn't be a problem. So do the same where you shoot. Keep in mind that if you're at 50 and 4, like if you're at precisely 50 and 4, or precisely 40 and 6, you'd only have a single missile of leeway. It's the same in this part where you can crouch on this platform and you should be safe from everything, every turret. And Rinkas should not be chasing you yet. They should still be in this last room if you're fast. And you can still shoot them. You want to be, if you've done this optimally, you should be at 36 missiles here. Assuming you start with 50. You should be at 36 or 35. Anything less is a problem. If you manage to like miss missiles on some Zephytides and you're lower than 35, you're going to have to get drops during the Mother Brain fight. You can also do this faster by doing tiny jumps between your missiles to go like past the platforms. It's sort of hard, but it's very doable. Oops. That's a problem. So you can do that if you're feeling like I like to do it now because I practiced it a lot, but it's sort of hard to get into. At first, if you're trying to be safe, I'd recommend just crouching here. Ah, goddammit. Miscounted. Oops. Then get up here, just grab this thing and roll in. There are a couple of other ways to get into that hole, but that's the most consistent way and fastest. There might be a Rinka spawning over there. Let's see if I can get it to spawn. There's sort of a limit on how many things can be on in this room at once. Please spawn. There we go. So if you spawn, you might get hit out of the. It's hard to get that to happen. Of course, it's hard to get it to happen when you want it to happen. He's up there right now, so you might get hit out like that, but you just keep holding left and you'll probably fall into the hole anyway. It's not that big of a deal, but keep in mind that it's possible to get hit there. So getting in here, this is where you want to use your supers pretty much, if you have them. Just start off right away and like shoot 2 supers. Pow pow. And then switch to normal missiles and start firing. If you don't have the extra supers, just like keep firing. You need to fight 20. You should be fine when you're like, you should count where your missiles at when you enter the room and just keep shooting. You should be at 36 or 37, so you should be done when you're at 16 or 15. 15 is, you need 15 missiles against Mother Brain, so 15 is still fine. You can also stand here, and depending on where the Rinkas are coming from, you can use them to damage boost to the left. Which is really useful, because if you get damage boosted, you're gonna land on this platform right away, and all the other Rinkas are gonna be over here, not disturbing you at all. So if you can get that to happen, I don't know if I can get that now. I'm getting the weird one where this is all very random, or sort of random. See, this is okay. That was almost good. See, that's good. I get damage boosted over here. Try to stand really far to the left, or like get damage boosted late. Otherwise, if they're coming from the top first, you can also like just run off the ledge and grapple up here. You don't have to do like weird jumps over here, because you might get hit and fall down into the lava, and getting out of the lava is horrible and annoying. Get damage boosted there, that's cool. See how all the Rinkas are like in places where they won't bother me. And then you shoot until there's one missile left, or like this is something I do at least. You can do it different ways. Bad pattern. So if you hear, once you open the glass, it's a bit hard. You want to land on this ledge, and it's not that simple to make this jump, like spinning, because you don't stop moving when you're spin jumping. So doing this jump is hard. I can't believe I even got that. You're usually gonna like hit Mother Brain and fall into the lava, which is bad. If you do fall into the lava, it's not the end of the world. As long as you have a high jump, which you should have, you can just do a straight jump up here. Don't grab the ledge. If you grab the ledge and try to grapple up, you're gonna get hit. Don't do that. Just go right here in the lava, do a straight jump, and once you're like above the level where you need to be, like at the peak of your jump, just tap left. And you're on here every time. The point of being here, the main point of being here, is that Mother Brain can't hit you. Like if you morph here, the beam is gonna miss you, which is cool. You can also, a couple of other ways to get up here is to unspin, either by shooting or by pressing up at the proper position. It's this is way easier than just jumping up here, so that's what I usually do. I try to shoot, usually land here. A lot of people morph, which puts you here right away. My favorite thing to do though is keep her at 1 health, like 1 hit left on under the glass, and then jump into the glass, shoot 1 shot, and then tap left. So, because when you're hitting, you can hit the glass free. You can't. I'm pretty sure you can't wall jump off the glass. No, you can't wall jump off the glass for some reason. It's weird. But if you're like touching the glass and then shooting, you are exactly not landing on the platform. So if you just tap left the tiniest bit after you've shot, you'll land on it right away. You'll be in a perfect position. This takes almost pretty much no timing, because even landing like this, you can go too far. You can go too far here and hit her, which is annoying. So you have to kind of time where you're gonna land, which is sort of annoying. But using this glass, you never have to time anything. It's free. So that's why what I like to do. This counts on you being able to stop shooting missiles at the right time though, which might not be the easiest thing. At least for the first few times you're fighting the boss. But then you can do either of the other ways to get over here. Once you're over here, once you're over on this ledge, the only thing that can hit you is Mother Brain's beam if you're standing, like if you're not morphed, running into Mother Brain accidentally, or these 2 Rinkas. These 2 Rinkas don't spawn too often, They spawn often enough to be a problem, but it's not a big problem if you fight Mother Brain quickly enough. Once you're on this spot, you want to shoot 4 normal missiles, switch to supers, shoot 1 super, morph, unmorph, freeze Rinkas if necessary when they come, then shoot. Oops. Now I have way too many supers, but that's beside the point. Oops. You should, if possible, try to freeze the Rinkas after you shot the super. Because they have to wait for Mother Brain to charge her beam anyway. Also, a thing to keep in mind is that Mother Brain doesn't actually need 16 missiles to kill. If you shoot 4 missiles and a super 4 times, that's 16 missiles. She only needs 15 missiles to kill. So one of those can be only 3 missiles. That's fine. If you happen to miscount, or if you happen to not press the missile button correctly and you accidentally only shoot 3, that's fine. As long as you only do that once, that's fine. If you do the fight correctly all the way, you have to manually only use 3 missiles on the last hit. Sort of. If you have 4 missiles, it's might as well shoot the 4th missile. It doesn't do anything. Like right here, even though I have 4 missiles and I only need 3, I can totally just shoot all 4. I can just mash shots. If I use all 4, I run out of missiles, so I don't have to manually switch to supers at all, which in a lot of cases is more desirable than being optimal with your ammo. That's fine, even though that was slight overkill. It doesn't really matter. You don't need ammo for anything beyond this point, so being at nothing here is absolutely fine. And though I say to try and freeze these Rinkas while she's charging or whatever, the main priority here is to not fall down. So if you feel you have to take it slow, oops. Then do that. Not falling down is way more important, but getting a few more hits in. But anyway, after you kill Mother Brain, after she's dead, you want to start holding left immediately. You have to be ready for when she dies. This can't catch you by surprise. You have to know when she's going to die. It's not hard to know, but it's just pretty much when you run out of supers. So it's not like it's hard to keep track of, or when you run out of ammo, pretty much. Or yeah, when you run out of supers, if you've been counting how many supers you need to kill her and using them on the glass properly and stuff. So once she dies, you want to start holding left immediately. You want to start running into her. This gives you speed booster. Because I mentioned this during the crate kill. She's not actually a wall. She's sort of just a barrier pushing you back. It's like it's not actually stopping your momentum, so you're still gaining speed booster while running into her. So you want to have speed booster right here, and you want to open this door. You can totally open this door while running into her. I don't have, yeah, I don't care. Or? No. I totally open that door. You can do it with a normal beam as well. Oops. Like because you're running, the beam travels farther, so you can hit that door with a normal beam. Just shoot a bit while running. You want the speed booster to handle this room to make this easier. You want to shine spark from this platform. This gets you the furthest up the shaft that we can find. So get a shine spark, jump, wall jump up. You have a lot of time here. Don't stress too much. You of course want to do this as fast as possible. But don't feel you have to like take it super tight to get this shine spark. It's not that hard. Oops. So after you get the shine spark, you want to hold right and grab this ledge. If you don't turn around before shine sparking, there's a chance. Oh crap! You also don't miss the shine spark. There's a chance that you won't grab this ledge, especially if you're far to the left. If you're not too far to the left, it's probably not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna grab it anyway. But if you're really far to the left and haven't turned around, she won't grab the ledge, which is super annoying because you have to climb back up or whatever. Just keep that in mind. I like to turn around just because, but you really don't have to turn around either. And then you can just wall jump off this wall, pretty much. I usually don't wall jump up here, so I'll see if I can remember how the wall jump works. I think it's wall jump up here, like that, I guess. I should have checked it out. Check this out. It's like that. It's not super important how what you do to get up here. Almost most paths are roughly equal. If you're doing this really quickly, you want to have 148 left on the clock. Like this is what I do. I don't wall jump too much. So anything above 148 on the clock is great. That's perfect. Anything above like 145 is still manageable. It's not like super bad if that happens or whatever. Anything above 148 is good. So yeah, okay. What I do is wall jump here, land, jump, wall jump. This is to avoid as many wall jumps as possible. Mostly because wall jumps are slow, but also because wall jumps are sort of inconsistent-ish. It's hard to do them optimally. If you want to just wall jump off the wall, it doesn't really matter. Like you can do that. Wall jump, jump. That's fine. If you manage to miss this shine spark for whatever reason, you have to get up here the normal way, which is to, I think, like it's sort of annoying. I have a route up this room for other reasons, but it's a bit complicated. But I'll teach it anyway. Just if people want to memorize some kind of backup strat for getting up here, you jump up these three. These four up here, up here, there, straight jump, grab this, and then land here, and you can do the rest of my strat. This is not a lot slower than Shine Sparking already, so oops. If you do it right, oops. It's a lot harder though. For a while we thought that this would be faster than Shine Sparking when done optimally, but I haven't been able to do that, so I don't think it is. So yeah, it's about the same speed. It's not a big deal if you miss it. So it might be a good idea to learn this backup strat in case you miss the Shine Spark. But then again, the Shine Spark is not very hard. So that shouldn't be a problem. Something that might happen though when you're doing the Shine Spark is if you bonk. Like you do this wrong and you bonk here. And it's sort of a good idea to keep this strat in mind, just in case you fall down anywhere, so you can get up. I don't know. I like knowing that this strat exists. I like knowing how to get up here without using a Shine Spark in case I have to. It had happened a few times that I missed that Shine Spark. Keep in mind to straight jump these for better control. You don't need the extra distance. Like you don't need the distance of a spin jump. So the added control of a straight jump is more useful here. No matter how you choose to get up, I'm gonna need to Shine Spark again. No matter how you choose to get up here, keep going to the right. I'm gonna waste my supers because that's fun. There are a few different ways to do this. Keep in mind that... Oh wow, okay, I thought that didn't work. Wow, I've been fooling myself this entire time. I thought you couldn't reach this platform if you jumped from the very lowest point there. I thought you kind of have to jump from the slope. Well, now I know better. Okay, cool. So going up here, you want to just jump on everything. No wall jump, no power grips, nothing. Just jump, 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 jump. Once you're here though, you want to wall jump off this ledge. It's sort of hard to wall jump off this if you're from the lower part. It's very possible, like I'm showing now, but it's way harder. Like it's pretty tricky. It's a lot more tricky, a lot trickier than it looks. So you might want to just run a tiny bit up this platform or up this slope to get a bit more height. And then after you wall jump, you ledge grab this and you ledge hop up to this ledge. This is the fastest way to do this, for all intents and purposes. So that should be what you're doing. But just jump, 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 wall jump, wall ledge hop. Then just run through this, there's nothing special going on. And at the end, speed jump pretty much here, like when you're right outside, like you're barely not even outside this tunnel, you can do a full jump. I even jumped too early, but I jumped too early because I was doing it in frame advance, but that's pretty much where you want to jump. Doing escape well is kind of daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that big of a deal. Like you want to jump right when you exit the tunnel, and you land straight on your ship. A good time, like anything above 130 is good. 133 left on the clock is it's pretty much the best we can do. So if you get a 133, that's amazing. Good job. 130, but anything above 130 is still fine. That's a good time. So that is Tourian. This took a lot longer than I expected, but Tourian is pretty complicated. There's a lot of things happening. Even though it's a very, very short segment in the run, but it's a very, very complicated segment. We'll just watch this cutscene so we don't have to watch it at the start of the Suitless video. Suitless is sort of a different beast in that it's very long, but it's fairly straightforward. There are a few fancy tricks that I'll be going over. But that'll have to be next time. Next video I'll go over how to do Suitless. So till then.